Okay, here's some variations of the different plank positions from the forward plank, which is basically like the push-up position. And then we have the side plank where you're on the side of the body, and then the reverse plank where you're facing upward with your arms underneath you. So I'm going to show you different variations that you can work with that to make it easier or more challenging depending on how you're feeling that day or what level of ability you're at. So here we go. Starting with the plank, you can start on your knees. Again, while you're in any kind of plank position, you should be engaging with your core, trying to keep your hips right in line with a straight line through your shoulders and knees. Try not to let it sag towards the ground. So engaging those muscles. Spreading your fingers wide, and you're also bringing your chest forward and through, so you're not pushing through with your shoulders like so, or elevating your shoulders. Bring the shoulder blades back and down, so you have good posture while you're holding this position. Of course, you can do push-ups, but the next level would be to come up to the feet. It's going to create more resistance. You can also make more resistance by lifting your leg up. And do it with the other leg. Another thing that you can do is going up and down. Now you can go down your forearms if it's challenging for your wrists, or you just want a different variation. So again, this is probably the most simple, easy version, is on the forearms, raising the hips off the ground. It's a great exercise to start off with, to warm the body up, or if you're at the level this is challenging enough for you, that's great. Just work with this. You can use shoulder retraction and protraction in the shoulder. Up to the hips, and lifting your feet off the floor. Now you can also, the more advanced version is to actually move from this position to the push-up position and back down. So I'm on my knees here, shift my weight to one side, place my hand nice and good, use a little momentum, press it up. And bring it back down. And you'll notice you do it one side easier than the other. Initiate with the other side. Come down that way. So you alternate which side you actually step up from each time. And from the full push-up position, and of course you can do it with one leg in the air the whole time, which makes it even more challenging. And whenever you get really tired, you just push back to child's pose. Yeah. All right, so that's the plank position. Now, when you're on your side, the simplest one again, no stress on the wrist, come down to the forearm, have the bottom leg bent. Then what you're trying to do is make a nice straight line between your shoulders, your hips, and your knee and your foot, the top foot. And you lift the body up. The next level of difficulty is extending that leg out, staggering the legs so they're open scissored, and lift up from there. The next more challenging one is stacking the feet. What I'm doing there is that we're creating a more challenging balance scenario. When your legs are scissored and wide, you're nice and stable. Bringing one on top of the other, you're going to feel that swing like you're wanting to fall forward or fall backwards in the exercise. And then to add a little more challenge, you can lift a leg. You can do that at the level 1 as well. Be here and lift the leg. You can also raise and lower the hips. You can do that at every level. This is tremendous work. All the muscles in the core on the side of the body, the muscles in the hips, all the way down the leg, and the muscles that support underneath here, your lats and the shoulder muscles. You want to make sure you do both sides. Now you do that whole thing all the way up. Let's show you on the other side. Or up on the hand, doing the same thing. So the first variation here, with the hips raising or the leg raising. Then I bring it to staggered stance, so it's stable but more challenging muscularly. Raise and lower the hips. And then, final one, I stack the feet, which brings in more challenging balance. Raise and lower the hips. And more. Lifting the leg. When you finish, go ahead and just relax into it like this, because you're working all these muscles on the underneath side. So just stretch. Allow yourself to relax in and stretch. All right, now let's go to facing up. Now, depending on your flexibility in your shoulders, this is seemingly easier. You notice the angle of the shoulder. It's easier on the shoulder from the hand position, and usually even not as stressful on the wrists as the forward plank or the side plank to lift from here. So this is probably this is easier than here. So it's kind of counterintuitive in that perspective. You look at my shoulders, there's a much greater angle or inability here to lift into a plank from the forearms. So this is more challenging than this. And it's just due to the challenge of range of motion in that the shoulder going into hyperextension. Or actual natural extension. You shouldn't really be trying to work in hyperextension. So, same as before. We're going to start at the easiest level, which is right here. Now, if this feels too much, all you have to do is bend the knees, bring the feet in closer to the body, and lift from here. Reverse tabletop. This is a great exercise. It's going to open up and strengthen the shoulders. It's lifting and strengthening everything on the inside of the body. It's great for the hamstrings. And then as you feel comfortable, you can extend them a little further out and eventually get to where you're all the way out. The main thing is when you're lifting, make sure your knees do not hyperextend. You don't go to where your knees are dropping in and you're stressing the back of your knee joints. So have just a slight bend in the knees. Even when your legs are fully extended out, lift up. You can just hold for a certain number of seconds, or you can do raise and lower the hips. Or again, like we did before, you can raise the legs. So you alternate lifting legs. You want to do it from the easier version? Lift the legs out this way as well. Beautiful. And you can do it all from that lower version as well. So here, lifting little stretch. Make those muscles feel good and thank them for supporting you.
There you go.